Hey, Cars Guys, JT here. Welcome back to the channel where all that matters is cars, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed last week's episode where we talked about what? That's right, horsepower. Technically speaking, horsepower dates back to the late 18th century. Scottish engineer James Watt came up with this unit of power based on one horse. One horse equaled 735.5 watts of power. Now, he applied that usage to the steam engine back then. It would later be adopted and used in combustion engines and electric engines. So, just to get that out of the way, a more technical view of horsepower, I just wanted to put that out there to you guys. I way undersimplified or oversimplified the whole process of horsepower. Had a good time doing that, and I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. This week, we talked about it briefly last week. I didn't forget about you guys. I know a lot of you cars guys out there love having a good daily. Well, that's what we're going to do today, guys. It's a really nice day out, so we're going to go out hunting for hoopties, and there's a whole list of do's and don'ts, helpful hints on how to hunt for hoopties. 5 basic elements, guys, you want to think about when you're hunting for hoopties. Most importantly, these 5 things. You want to check the engine, you want to check the transmission, you want to look for severe rust, because think about it, rust is a whole nother ball game when it comes to trying to, stay on top of it and get it all out of there and repair rust. Number 4, you want to see if your car has a timing belt. If the hoopty you're hunting for has a timing belt, make sure that it's been changed recently, and you can check that underneath the hood. Sometimes when mechanics do this job, they'll put a little badge under there. It gives you a date of when the timing belt was done. When you get up to about 100,000 miles, you're going to be concerned whether or not the timing belt was done. Now, if it doesn't have a timing belt, you're fine. Timing chains don't typically break. The key with the timing belt is if it's a non-interference engine, that means if it breaks while running, you could sustain some serious or even worse, catastrophic engine failure. The engine is the heart of the car, so if your heart goes, that's the life of the car. So you want to check to see if the timing belt was done. And lastly, and what most people make the big mistake in doing is they put this first, but number 5 is mileage. But miles aren't that critical. It's 5th on the list. A lot of times cars have what they call highway mileage. Now, highway mileage is a lot better than city stop and go driving, obviously. So, and just a couple of other announcements. Thank all of you guys for your subscribing. I mean, I just hit 300 plus subscribers this past week. I'm just so humbled and happy and appreciative of all you guys. Thank you so much. So we're on our way to 400 subscribers. So, I can't do this without you guys' help. I look forward to these videos every week. I'm doing it because I'm passionate about cars. I'm sure you guys know that by now. I'm probably the goofiest cars guy on YouTube, but I think what happens is when I'm doing my videos, it comes out and you guys can see my passion, and just trying to share this whole cars guys thing with you guys. Oh, and by the way, guys, it's almost that time again where we announce the winner of the Watch Out for Cars Guys event. This will be winner number 2, so you could be that winner. That's the event where one lucky subscriber wins a watch, the Watch Out for Cars Guys event. So stay tuned for next week's episode. Without any further ado, let's jump in one of the vehicles and go hunting for hoopties. I'll see you guys in a little bit. Hey Cars Guys, JT here. Hey, decided to take Dragon Ball Z along to hunt for hoopties. Now, here's something funny here about the term hoopty. Urban term for hoopty. It says any car that meets the following: driver must enter through the passenger side, 3 different brand and sizes of tires, 3 of them missing a hubcap, the exhaust held up by a clothes hanger, backfires every time it starts, by no means, guys, am I hunting for that kind of hoopty. Any car that's not your main vehicle could be called a hoopty, and I'm using the term loosely, obviously, guys. It has a nice sound to it, and it's a great hook as a feature for the channel. So when I'm saying hunting for hoopties, please don't think that I'm insulting anybody's car, because you know, everybody's car, all of our cars are our babies. So every car I own except for Zeus they're my hoopties. So please don't, you know, be insulted by the term. I'm using it very loosely, and with that being said, let's go hunt for some hoopties, guys. So guys, here we are in Dragon Ball Z, and we're hunting for hoopties, guys. On my way to grab my neighbor Mark. You guys remember Mark from ABZ's? He's going to help me with a little camera work. So glad you guys are along for the ride today. Should be pretty interesting. We're always, as cars guys, we're always looking for a second, third, or fourth vehicle. A great daily for a great price. So I'm going to see if I can help you guys accomplish that. It's always fun to go, you know, on these little acquisitions, mergers and acquisitions when we're talking about cars, guys. It's a beautiful hobby. So as soon as I grab my neighbor Mark, he's going to jump in Dragon Ball Z, and we're going to go hunting for hoopties, guys. See you in a little bit. Also, guys, just a little side note, I got called on the carpet last week for a couple of things. In the Hello Zeus episode, I always go back and look at the episodes just to see if it's somewhere in the vlog where I misspoke or I didn't accurately represent something that I was trying to show you guys. I called my motor in Zeus an LT7 when it's obviously an LT4, so I apologize for that. And here recently, Matt MPG, he called me out, and another YouTuber, and asked what was my favorite road. He had this favorite road challenge, and I couldn't come up with anything locally, so I kind of threw it out there as a bucket list kind of answer, and I had the 3 roads as a bucket list. But you know, I got called on the carpet. My dad, you know, you guys know Pop from Instagram. Well, anyway, Pop called me out and said, "Hey man, that guy was asking you about your local road, man. So if I could come up with a local road, there is a road that I have in mind. The road 322 is the road, and it's the stretch of road between Brickerville and I'm going to say the Lebanon Exchange on the Turnpike. There's a 322 goes all the way up, goes up to the Mount Gretna area, and it's a beautiful scenic road. I mean, tall pine trees. It winds through the trees, and you actually lose your cell phone coverage for a stretch there. So that's the road I'm thinking about, 322, that stretch of road between Brickerville and I'm going to say Mount Gretna. So there, answered. So without further ado, guys, stick around for hoopty hunting. See you in a little bit. All right, guys, we're almost at this location. I've been frequenting this road, and I saw a couple of interesting cars. I'm hoping that the guys here, that we can actually go in and hunt for a hoopty or two. So bear with us. We're coming to the place now here, guys. So kind of stick around. Right back. Hey, cars, guys. We're here at looks like a pretty clean lot. Gonna walk in and talk to the owner and see what we could do here. Hey, cars, guys, just talked to the owner of the auto lot here, and he didn't want to be on camera, so I have to respect his wishes, but he just pulled out this 07 Ford Fusion. I don't know if you guys can see it in the background, but it's an 07 Ford Fusion. It's got 160,000 miles on it, and he only wants $2,800. So between you and me, guys, that means $2 grand. That's just between you and I. So I'm gonna start this thing up and go take it through its paces a little bit, and let's see if this is a viable hoopty. '07 Ford Fusion here with 160 on it. We're gonna go get the keys and we're gonna take it through its paces. So stick around. '07 Ford Fusion? '07. '07 Ford Fusion, guys. Let's check it out. All right, first of all, guys, leather seats. So it's got leather, guys. Now let's go back over the 5 helpful hints while hunting for Hoopties. You want to check the engine, so let's look at the engine first.
Engine's clean, dude. They had this thing clean for sure.
So the engine bay looks pretty clean. It's got 160 on it. Now here's the deal. Here's something you guys probably never thought of, and maybe you have, but I always do this when hunting for Hoopties. You always get a piece of white or light colored stationery, and while you're walking around the vehicle, you throw this underneath, and any fluids leaking will show up. Huh? Car's got. Try to get it directly under where you would see an oil leak. So there you guys go. A little bit of a tap. This could be inherent with this Fusion. Any kind of leakage will show up on our white stationery. We'll jump in and see if the AC is working. Got the AC on, got the recirculation button pressed. Got it as cool as it can go. And it's getting pretty cool. All of your windows appear to be working fine. Alright, so now we got the windows up, guys, and we're just looking, trying to see just how powerful the AC is, and the AC is blowing pretty good. Typically, when you have a weak AC, it mean that the compressor is starting to go, or it could use a shot of Freon. But these are things that you can always fix, guys. Like I said, motor, transmission, check to see if the timing belt was done, rust, and last but not least, mileage. I mean, we're looking at 166, 361 on an '07 car. So you figure, even if it's 10,000 miles a year, this car is basically 11 years old, going to be 12 years old in 2019. So even at 10,000 miles a year, that's 120. So 166 isn't that bad, even if you go 12,000 a year. So, all right, so the air's blowing good. Now let's just let it run. That's not good. This may have been into here. This switch here, not that great. It's an SEL Fusion. It's in pretty good shape. And the way you look for dings, guys, is you always look down the side. Sometimes if you're looking straight on, you don't actually get a good vantage point, and you don't actually see dings. So I can see a couple. I don't know if you guys can notice this, but there's a ripple here, really minor. Ripple here, really minor. There's a ding here, now that I can see it here. But you always look down the side. I don't know if the GoPro here is picking that up, but you got a couple little dings, but nothing really serious. This has the potential to be a viable hoopty, guys. Looking down the side here, guys, you can see a little bit of a crease right in here. I don't know if you guys can see that. I'm trying to get the right reflection here. You got the owner of the establishment talking to neighbor Mark, but he didn't want to be on camera, so you got to respect people's wishes. So he's asking 26 for this. It's probably going to need the helpful tip, the Cars Guy's tip, to get these lenses looking a little better. But that's no big deal. But you know what we're going to do now, guys? We noticed a small tap in the motor. So I'm going to ask the seller what he thinks that is. Slight tap in the motor. The camera's on me, so don't worry about it. You won't be on the camera. Slight tap. Is that something I need to be worried about?
It's a hoopty.
He said it's a hoopty by.
I run it every day.
Yeah, well,
Ticky.
Well, that's
a little ticky. It has to do with 167,000 miles.
Well, that's the whole thing with these things. Basically, people that are looking for these cars are guys that have 2 and 3 cars already, and they need a good daily for a good price. Okay, maybe a little Mobile One or some Lucas engine treatment.
It's got goofy stuff like turn the headlights on.
So guys, what we'll do is we'll let this run a little bit, and while that stationary is underneath, if it's leaking any fluid, any oil, transmission, brake, or any other fluid, coolant, we'll see it on that stationary. So we'll let it run for a little while, we'll get in, and we'll check the transmission. We'll put it in reverse, we'll put it in drive, and we'll see if we get a bang or any kind of funkiness in the transmission. So let's go check that out now.
Well, when I was growing up, my dad had $350,000.
All right, guys, we got in, we put it in drive, we put it in reverse several times. No bang, nothing really to really worry about or anything alarming in the transmission. So we'll take it for a spin. We'll come back to where we were, put the stationary back under it, and if this thing is leaking anything, that white stationary will show us. So stick around. We're going to jump on the road and see what this car can do. We're hunting. Not feeling that stumble. I don't know if you guys can turn down the AC. Can you guys hear that? A little bit of a stumble. Let's take it out. Okay, so just at a standstill, waiting to merge into traffic, it's got a little bit of a stumble. Locked automatically. Smooth. Just let go of the steering wheel. Only going 40 miles an hour now, but it didn't pull either way. But so far, guys, the engine 7.5 out of 10. I'm not really happy with the stumble at a dead standstill when you put it in drive. Not happy with how it sounded when we opened the hood. Don't know what that is. Transmission appears to be okay. The air is blowing great. No hesitation when you step on it. A little bit of an odor. Could have been a smoker's car. Let's talk about that a little bit, guys, while we're on this test drive. Odors are another challenge. If you got pet odor and pet hair, with a good detail, you can clean pet odor. I mean, you can clean out or back out or clean up pet hair. Not too concerned. Now, pet odor is another thing. Some of the products out here on the market now are specifically designed for pet odor, so we can get pet odor out. Now, cigarette smoke odor, on the other hand, takes a complete, total detail. I mean, you got to wipe down the headliner. You got to wipe down. Obviously, you got to do the windows. You got to wipe down all the seats, the bolsters, the dashboard, all of the steering wheel components, your buttons underneath the seat. Cigarette smoke, guys, could be a real pain in the behind to get rid of. With a non-smoker, it's particularly annoying for a non-smoker that has, you know, when you're looking for a car and the previous owner was a smoker, especially if the previous owner was a heavy smoker. So it can be dealt with. You know, it's not a total deal breaker, but it is a challenge. Just want to put that out there. But the other things, guys, like the suspension seems to be okay. I just did a couple of little zigzags here. Appears to be okay. I just hit a couple of bumps. I'm not getting any rattle. But these are the kinds of things, guys, that aren't necessarily deal breakers. If it needs a an alternator, a battery, obviously tires. Those are the least of your worries. Again, the 5 biggies: motor, trans, timing belt, that's also kind of motor, rust, and mileage. So I'm gonna try to get this thing on a little bit of a strip where we could take it up to about 60. Not happy with the idle. Now it's up around 600 RPMs, where it should be a little closer to 800 or 900. And there's a major stumble. Not happy with the stumble, guys. I'm gonna be honest with you. I would really lowball him on the offer here at 2,600. I would probably come in at around 1,700 cash for this. And at $1,700, guys, for a 07 Fusion 166 owner, wouldn't be a bad investment. I mean, think about it. If it, you know, needs some kind of minor engine repair, maybe a tune-up, maybe it's one of the coils is bad, or it's running on I don't know, running on 3 of the 4 cylinders or 5 of the 6 cylinders. I'm not sure what motor's in here, but at $1,700, guys, this would be kind of where I would lean towards this. You know, he's asking $2,600 now. He's going to tell me when I get back, you know, $2,600 for that car. I mean, it's leather and yada yada yada. Well, okay, but hey, I'm of the firm belief that when somebody's asking something, you know, it's called negotiation. That's the whole beauty of being a cars guy. I mean, you know, when we're dealing with cars, you know, nothing's etched in stone. Everything is negotiable, guys. I don't want to, you know, some of these outlets that sell cars talk about how, you know, firm pricing. Nothing's firm. Nothing's firm. Everything's negotiable. Anyway, I'd love to see if after about 50, 60 mile an hour, if I had a little bit of a shimmy, or, but then again, not deal breakers. Could use a tie rod, could use a wheel bearing, or, you know, it could use a strut or a shock. Not totally deal breakers, guys. Not bad. Yeah, I don't think you guys would hurt yourselves on a vehicle like this, or this vehicle at 17, maybe 1,800. You know, the guy throws in a full tank of gas, you know, that's 35, 40 bucks there. So, you know, but anything over $1,800, I would be really skeptical to offer. He's asking 26. Now, you never want to insult anybody, so, you know, you got to use a little diplomacy when you're making counter offers on any of these cars, guys. You know, you want to, you know, you don't want to burn bridges. You know, I find that in this hobby, relationships are key. You don't want to burn any bridges. So, you know, if you're respectful and diplomatic. All right, so we're going to get on a little bit of a highway here. So we're going to merge into traffic, and I'm going to jump off at the very next exit. All right, we'll let this car pass here. Hey, the turn signals are working. All right. Not dragging anybody. You're getting to and from work, to and from the grocery store, and you're leaving your baby at home. You got a Porsche, you got a, you know, you got a Mercedes or a Beamer or a Corvette or an RX-8 or a Supra or anything you got, any one of you guys' babies. This would not be a bad daily. Take some of the work off of your baby. All right, so I'm doing 70, guys, 75. I let the wheel go, and it wants to pull slightly left. 80. I want to get off here. No rattle. Not bad, guys. Temperature staying constant. Not bad. So put it through its paces a little bit, and what we'll do is when we pull back up, we'll throw the piece of stationery underneath to see if this thing is spewing any fluids, if it's hemorrhaging. Not happy with that idle. I'm going to turn the air off for a second to see if that idle smooths out. All right, turn the AC off. Did not smooth out. All right, I'm turning the AC back on, guys. It's pretty warm out. So I would be a little bit concerned about that stumble, and I would probably, even after I offered the 1800 tops, I would actually, before I actually sealed the deal, I would probably get it to a reputable mechanic, somebody you trust, to see if that stumble is an issue. Because, you know, even at $1,800 hard-earned dollars, guys, you know, you don't want the thing to crap out on you in the first couple of months. Life expectancy here with Hoopties, in my estimation, if I can get 2 years out of one of these, you know, one of these dailies that I acquire, I've got my money's worth. Think about it. If you can get, you know, you pay 2, 3, 4 grand on a car, and you get 2+ years out of it, it's basically served its purpose, essentially. So, you know, that's kind of like my measuring stick as far as life expectancy. Oh wow, this has a fan button on the steering wheel. Beautiful. Nice. I got these giant bear claws, and sometimes I hit or activate something unintentionally, so I noticed the fan dropped, and I was actually pressing the fan switch here on the steering wheel. That's pretty cool. Not really happy. Again, guys, I don't know. I wish I could show you the vibration. You know, if I had a glass of water, you guys could probably see it, kind of like in Jurassic Park. Remember when the T-Rex is getting ready to, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, but yes, it's a little bit of a disturbing, rough idle at times. But there you have it, guys. I mean, I kind of went over all of my little helpful hints when hunting for Hoopties. If you employ some of these little strategies, you minimize the chance of getting raked over the coals. You know, I've heard horror stories about people acquiring used cars. Even if it's your main vehicle, some people don't have a car and they're looking for a car, you know. So this would be, you know, from my vantage point, you know, so far being in this car and going over it at $1,800, this would be a car that I would probably be interested in. But again, even at that, with that being said, you want to get it to a reputable mechanic, somebody that could actually go over it and see what that stumble is. Like I said, it could be a coil misfire, tune-up. It could have gotten some poor gas. You know, run some premium in it the first couple tanks. Throw some gas additive, or some fuel injector cleaner in there. There are a lot of different brands out there that do a pretty decent job with the fuel injection cleaning. May be able to minimize that stumble or actually get it to even go away. But and take this time to acknowledge some of my subscribers. I really appreciate you guys. I had a couple of really good comments. I had one comment. Somebody commented that they were eagerly anticipating this segment, the hunting for Hoopties segment. So I hope whoever that was, I hope you enjoy it, and you're able to glean something from it. Had another couple comments, and I really struggle. You guys have no idea how much I struggle with the whole editing process. Making these videos very time consuming, guys. So kind of like, it's got to be something you love to do. And I actually love doing this. I can't wait, you know, each week to get you guys some content and some antics. So the couple of compliments I was just talking about, the guys or gals said that they love my editing, and one guy commented, "Man, you should have more subs." I concur. I agree. No, I'm just kind of kidding around. I would love to have more subs, and the subs will come. You know, I heard a couple of the guys that have the bigger channels chatting at some of these car events, and they kind of said, hey, you know, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. So I'm going to be doing this thing, subscribers or not. So I just love doing this, sharing this hobby and some of the passion I have for cars with all you guys out there. So I hope you guys are enjoying the episodes. I'm 2 months in, getting ready to announce the second winner of the Cars. Watch out for Cars, guys. So I'm really happy about that. It's going to be exciting. You know, I'm thinking about it, when you win anything, you could win. You know, you could win a Tootsie Roll or a stick of gum, and hey, you won something that you won. Some people, like Roy said last month, he said he never won anything, and here he subscribes to my channel and wins a watch, a pretty nice one at that. So you know, I'm excited, guys. I think I'm 6 or 7, maybe even 8 videos in. I got the trailer that I came up with, and then I've been kind of moving right along, and appreciate you guys' support and your encouragement. Oh, some criticism too, guys. The one vlog, I think a couple videos ago, when I didn't have my dashboard, I'm sorry, my windshield sticky thingy, I call it, that was on the fritz, so I used helmet cam. Well, one of the I don't know if this guy's a subscriber, I hope he is. He said, he's like, you know, because of the you know, when I was in Zeus, it's got a smaller kind of less headroom than typical cars, and I had the camera on my head, and all you could see is kind of like the top part of the car and just a little bit of the road. So the guy commented, hey man, your head's too big for a helmet cam. And so that was pretty funny. I got a kick out of that. Hey, I got thick skin, man, so you know, you guys you know, all the criticism, you know, good, bad, or indifferent, you know, I'm all for it. Helps me grow, helps us all grow as a community, so I'm all for it. So that's pretty cool. He said my head's too big. I do have a pretty big head, but that's pretty funny. So we're almost back here, guys, and we're going to see if this thing is leaking. But no real major issues that I'm having with this thing. Pretty decent. I would throw $1,700, maybe $1,800 at it just to see if I could acquire it. And if not, hey, moving right along. There are Hoopties all over the place, guys. So we're headed back here, guys, and I'm going to park it right underneath my handy dandy piece of stationery again, and we'll see if this thing has any leaks. So stick around, guys. Hey Cars Guys, back after the test drive. So we'll let it sit here, and I'll have my evil assistant Mark here grab it from underneath. How you holding up, Mark? You all right?
Pretty well, sure, man. We're good.
All right. All right, so as you can see, guys, I don't know if you can see that here, I got one speck, which isn't bad. That's not bad for a car with 166,000 miles on it. So there you have it, guys. So these are just a couple of helpful hints when you're out hunting for Hoopties. So we're going to head back to the Cars Guys lab for a wrap-up. I'll see you in a little bit. Hey Cars Guys, JT back here at the Cars Guys lab. Hey, thanks for coming along with me for the hunting for Hoopties. As you can see, it can be pretty challenging Now, there are a lot of different cars out there, a lot of different makes, a lot of different models. Just as an addendum to the whole hunting for Hoopties feature, you might want to steer clear of the higher end European brands like your BMWs and your Mercedes and your Audis. Nothing wrong with those brands at all. They're great brands, but if you're looking for a daily, sometimes they could be a little bit of a, let's say, maintenance nightmare. You don't want to get a car for $2,000 and then a month later you have a $4,000 repair. So you want to steer clear of some of those luxury brands when you're hunting for Hoopties. And just remember the 5 helpful hints when hunting for Hoopties. You want to go motor, you want to go trans, check that timing belt. You want to make sure you're not riddled with rust. You don't want a rust bucket, and check the mileage. So there are just a couple of things, helpful hints when hunting for Hoopties that you guys need to be mindful of as cars guys. We're all looking for a great daily for a great price. Again, thanks for hanging out with me while we hunted for Hoopties, and I hope you guys enjoyed this upload. And so if this is the first time you're checking in, please hit that subscribe button and give it a thumbs up if you like it, and hit that bell, let you know when I have uploads. So remember, this is the channel where all that matters is cars guys. I'll see you in the next upload.